Hey there, my sweet friends. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well. That it would be fun to create a folio today with a summer holiday theme in mind. And so we're going to create this. Now, of long time viewers of my channel will know that the Tech Hubby has a birthday on the 4th of July. So we really do love our summer holidays, and anything red, white, and blue is right up my alley. So I think this little folio is going to be a lot of fun to create and fill with pictures and memories of our summer fun. So if that sounds good to you, then stick around and we'll make it together. So I've got my Stars and Stripes Forever collection, and I'm just going to work with the 6x6 paper pad. That is one way I can save myself a little money and not overbuy a collection. So I am going to get quite a lot of use out of this 6x6 paper pad. Now, I did pick my favorite pattern, which of course is that plaid, and I did get that in the 12x12, and also the cut apart images because I do like them to be full size. And so you can see I have already cut into them, and I've gotten through quite a lot of this paper pad. I think another great thing about that 6x6 size is that the scale works really well for smaller folios and cards. So that is perfect. This is what I have left over after creating my project. So I think it will be a fun challenge, maybe to create some color blocking or pattern blocking and get some use out of these offcuts as well. But now I have just enough for a few more projects, and then I can say goodbye to this collection, make room for something new, and I haven't over purchased on a collection that will more than likely just sit in my stash. So now I have a few basic parts for my base, and this is going to be 65-pound weight cardstock, and it will be similar to ones we have made in the past, but I do want to make a couple of upgrades to improve its functionality. So we're going to work on that as we go along. Now, my basic pages are going to be 5 inches by 5 inches, and I have 6 of these total. And then the spine that is going to bring that all together is 5 inches high by 11 inches wide. Now I've scored it at every inch all the way down, and then starting from the right hand side, I have added my adhesive tape to the very end section. Then I skipped one, and then I taped, and then I skipped one and I taped all the way down until there are 2 remaining strips here. And then I'm flipping that over, and I'm going to put my double-sided tape on this side, and you'll see why when we get to that. So this is pretty easy, and you just want to pull your tape off here, add your page. It's easiest for me to go ahead and fold that on the score line so that I can just rest that page right on into that crease. Now you know that you've got it positioned exactly where you want, and then you can just go ahead and repeat that process until you have all of these pages added up until you got to the last 2 pieces. So let's just go ahead and lay those in. See, look, I have barely started my project and I have already smudged my polish. But I can't be bothered to fix it, so we're just going to keep on working and getting these pages attached. If you hear that noise, it's the Tech Hubby walking down the stairs, so everybody say hello to the Tech Hubby in the comments. He does love when you give him a shout out. So this is going to be the last page that we add on this section here. Now I'm going to come in and flip that over and adhere this right to the back. And I'm going to put some tape here on the front as well. And I'll just line that up in the corner along the bottom and the side so that I can keep it nice and straight and even as I'm working along. Okay, so that's going to be our folio all assembled here. We have all these great pages that flip. This will be familiar to you because we have created this similar style in the past, but now I want to give it a nicer, more sturdy spine. And so I have my piece of the same blue cardstock cut to be 5 high by 2 3/4 wide, scored at 1 and then 1 3/4. And I do want to finish the spine with a layer of my pattern paper just so that it has a more finished look. And so this is going to be 4 7/8 by 5/8. I'm going to pull this a little closer to myself so I can see over top of it to get this centered. I'm going to pull my tape from one side, fold it up on that score line, and then set my folio down into that so that I can get it exactly lined up along the bottom and the side, and that will fit perfectly. Now I can pull the backing from this side of the tape. It's easier for me to flip that and work from my right hand. So I did that, and I just pulled a couple of pages over so that I can get that positioned exactly the same way I did the front. And now that is adhered well, and you can see that our cover will have a nice finished look there. So I want to begin by working on those inside pages. And so let's start with our partial page. This will be on the left-hand side because we do have a portion here that is the cardstock that is binding these pieces together. So this is going to be 4 7/8 of an inch high by 3 7/8 of an inch wide. And that is going to go right here, getting that nice border of our blue cardstock. For the right-hand pages, I did want to add those tip-ins, so let's just cover that real quick. I have a piece of blue cardstock here, and it is cut to be 4 inches high by 3.5 inches wide and scored at 3. And then the images that are the cut apart, I've cut to be 3 7/8 by 2 7/8, and that way I'm going to get the border of this as well. And I'm just adding that. I have cut an additional piece to go inside so that it will be finished there also. And then I did add a little bit of my tape here along the side, so when I add it to my page I can just adhere this as one single unit. So now the full-size pages are going to be 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. I'll just center that tip in along the side and then press that down into the adhesive and then add this as one piece. So the pages that I have are matching. You do not have to. If it works through your stash better to mix and match, then you should definitely do that. So now we have our first set of pages here with the tip in. Now I am going to continue to work along and finish my pages, alternating between the patterns and the cutter parts. So I'll see you back here when I have that finished. So let's just flip through there real quick. We've got our patterns and our tip-ins for each of the pages. Now I want to add a little bit of trim here so that I can tie this closed, and I don't want to get into another new roll of this beautiful diamond stitch satin. So I'm just going to cut that and add that here so that I don't have to wrap it around the back. So I will be adding that with my hot glue. Then I'll cover that with my pattern paper. This is going to be the same size as the full-size pages for the inside of the book. Remember that I picked out the 12 by 12 sheet of this, so the scale is slightly larger, but I think it still works pretty well. Now let's flip that over and add that same pattern to the front. In my pile of offcuts, I did have a little bit of that dot left, and so I thought that would make a good layering pattern. And because it's cut to be the same width, I can just use the same border of my blue cardstock. Got a crisp white doily to break up those busy patterns. And then I took one of the smaller cut aparts that was included in the 6x6 paper pad and added a blue border for that, as well as some dimensional foam spacers to add a little bit of depth here. Now I do have a pretty small flower arrangement, and that is just going to fill in our corner. Just being careful to avoid covering up any of the words on that cut apart or overlapping the edge. So not enough room here for the sequins that I normally like to add, but I do want to add a couple of these little charms in, so I've just tied those, and I'll add those with hot glue as well. And then I'll tap those cut strings with a button, and that is going to do it for today. If you enjoyed this project, make sure to let me know by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And don't forget to check the description for links. As always, I'm wishing everyone a happy and productive day. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.